So now that we've come to the end of the main series of the Simpsons Hit Run, which so far has been my longest playthrough by a pretty sizable margin, at least in terms of episode length, or at least in terms of number of episodes, I need to discuss what's going to be going on for the next couple weeks, because it's going to be a little bit of an oddity. First and foremost, the 2 bonus episodes for The Simpsons will be coming out pretty shortly, within the next week. They won't be very difficult to record or edit, so those won't be much of a hassle. And I am pretty sure there will be only 2 of those, no more, no less. And then after that, we technically aren't going to get into the new series for about 3 weeks or so. That's because I'm expecting a new PC to come in, a much more powerful PC that will help me record series much easier, edit them much easier, post them much easier. All around, it'll be a big boost in performance. However, I don't want to start a new series and then have to go on a hiatus for a little while, because for several reasons. One is that obviously I'll need some time to get the settings right on the new PC from the editing software and recording software for that matter too. I'll need some time to readjust those settings, make sure everything's right, do some test recordings, and make sure everything pans out well there. And then, in addition to that, on the change from the old computer to the new one, I won't be losing the old hard drive, but I won't be able to transfer any videos from the old one to the new one, any files that are on the computer. And because of that, I don't want to have an episode recorded an episode recorded on the old computer that I won't be able to transfer over to the new one. And so, instead, what I'm going to be doing during that time is focusing on some bonus episodes for older series, namely Castlevania IV and Nicktoons Unite, because the video footage for those series is actually already recorded. The reason they haven't been posted so far is that I haven't gotten around to recording the audio, which I intended to do in post for those videos, just because there would be so many cuts and such like that. You'll see. And then there may also be some bonus episodes for some of the other series, like Star Fox or something like that, but I wouldn't count on it too hard. Those may be floated until I get the new computer. In addition to that, at least I'll start to try and post, I don't know how long this will, I don't know what length of time these will take. They may well go into the new computer time. But I also want to do some redemption runs of Super Castlevania IV and Star Fox 1. And by that, I mean they're going to be completely unedited playthroughs where I'm not using save states or cheats, which is what's going to separate them from the videos I posted before. No matter how long it takes me or how much I fail, I do want to beat those games legitimately as they would originally be intended, using the live system and save systems that were already built into those games back in the 90s. And those videos will also be commentary lists. It will just be the raw file it will just be me recording the video with my current recording setup on my current computer, and then as soon as that file gets exported from the editing software, it will be exported straight to YouTube with no editing, no audio, nothing like that. It would just be the video file, and because of that, it's easy to post, and I wouldn't have to worry about the file getting lost in transition, because they would just immediately go online after it's created. And then, once the new computer comes in for the first several days after that, there may be some test videos just to see how intensive of a game the PC can record. Those may or may not be posted on your end, I'm not entirely sure. I already have some examples of when I first started that are entirely private and aren't posted for the public, but these may be just so I could get some sort of feedback. But those videos also wouldn't be any indicator as to the series I would be doing anytime in the near future. They're just to see what my PC can what the new PC can handle running or not. And then once that's done and I got all the new recording done, I'll hop straight into recording a short blind playthrough, and that will be the new series proper. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure what it'll be at this point. I've got it narrowed down to a couple of contenders. The most likely ones are either going to be Star Fox 2, which I've seen some footage of, and it looks interesting, to say the least. And I promised that a little while back, and I want to get back around to it. Or Police Quest 1, which is a little game that you probably haven't heard of. It's an old Sierra MS-DOS style Sierra adventure game, you know, where you control yourself with the keyboard. You walk around in a sprite base. You walk around a small defined area and interact with stuff. Instead of using a cursor, you just type it in on the bottom and it responds to commands that way. And it's open-ended because you're typing stuff in instead of just pointing and clicking. And while those are the two most likely ones, there are two other contenders that may be possible, though I would consider less likely at this point. Those would be the first Hitman game, the old one, so Hitman 1 in the old timeline before they rebooted it a couple years ago. And the reason that's less likely is because even though I have an interest in Hitman, I'm not sure how well that would translate into video content. I'd probably play the first couple levels of it to see how it goes first before I just jump into the game wholesale, see if it's something that would work as recording. And also, I've seen how it plays before, and it may not be the most interesting for a video series because it's sort of rough around the edges, understandably so. And also, like, the text, oddly enough, the text of the video, I mean, like, the text for, like, subtitles and descriptions and that sort of stuff is real tiny. They didn't scale it properly for its re-release. So those are a couple reasons why it wouldn't be on the short list. And then the first Portal game, which doesn't suffer from many of those problems, but the main inhibitor for Portal 1 is that it's pretty story-heavy, and I'm not quite sure how I'd handle a story-heavy game at this point, especially a blind one. Because, you know, when a character's talking, which, to be fair, there's only, as far as I know, there's only one character in Portal 1 that talks to you. But, from what I understand, it talks pretty often. So I'd be interrupted pretty often, and I'm not sure how I'd handle that. While those do have some problems with them, that's not to say that Star Fox and Police Quest also wouldn't have their problems, so they may still end up being the case, or they may still end up being future projects. We'll just have to see. But anyway, that's just an update to give you guys a heads up on what's going to be going on for the next couple weeks. So, I hope you enjoy the content that's coming out, and I'll see you guys then.